Lastly, a little follow-up on something because I think it's important to follow up on this and see the story through, or not through, as the case might be here. Remember when Foxconn got a whole bunch of headlines and political kudos for saying it was investing billions of dollars in the state of Wisconsin, hiring a bunch of people, and maybe starting up a factory or two? Yeah, so Foxconn has been denied the promised Wisconsin tax subsidies after it failed to hit hiring benchmarks in 2019, quoting The Verge. Through the many twists and turns of Foxconn's troubled Wisconsin project, one thing has long been clear. The company is not building the promised 20 million square foot Gen 10.5 LCD factory specified in its contract with the state. Even before President Trump broke ground on the supposed factory in June 2018, Foxconn said it would instead build a far smaller factory than it had proposed. The discrepancy between what Foxconn is doing and what it said it would do in its contract has only grown since then, and it has brought Wisconsin and the company to an impasse. Documents obtained by The Verge show that attempts to renegotiate that contract have so far failed, and today the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, which oversees the deal, rejected Foxconn's application for tax subsidies on the grounds that Foxconn had not carried out the Gen 10.5 LCD factory project described in its original contract. WEDC also noted that even if whatever Foxconn is currently doing had been eligible under the contract, it had failed to employ the minimum number of people needed to get subsidies. Foxconn needed to employ at least 512 people at the end of 2019 to receive subsidies, and claimed to have hired 550, but WEDC estimated that only 281 would qualify under the terms of the contract, end quote. Yeah, always take major factory investments or tax subsidy-seeking projects with a grain of salt. It can often just be a really cheap PR stunt for companies that never have to follow through and still come out way ahead. The whole Foxconn thing seems to be a real Potemkin village at this point, as @Scapoliti said on Twitter, quote, "Time after time, businesses from manufacturers to sports teams violate their tax break agreements with towns and cities, raking in profits and leaving the taxpayers with the burden. Finally, someone had the guts to stand up to this corrupt practice," end quote. Foxconn and the politicians touting this deal promised 13,000 jobs. There have been, according to this report, and quoting Patrick Leary on Twitter, quote, 281 jobs. Everyone who worked on or around this project lied to the people of Wisconsin deliberately, end quote.